What is going on, guys, and welcome back to part 2 of my 1999 Mitsubishi Eclipse rebuild. And today we're going to start the video off by getting into the trunk. And what I mean by that is I'm going to get in there underneath the trunk bed, and I'm going to take out the windshield washer fluid tank. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to de-rust everything. There's lots of rust, lots of corrosion. I'm going to de-rust it, paint it, and make it look brand new again. So let's hop right into that right now.
Alrighty, so now that we've fully taken out the windshield washer fluid tank and disconnected all the cords, I'm gonna go in here and scrub out all the rust from the bottom of the compartment. Now that I got the lights in there, it's a lot easier to see all the rust and corrosion that's been happening to this thing inside, over the past however many years since the last person's actually cleaned it. You can tell that there's just been a lot of water kind of pooling and sitting in the bottom of this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head in there and I'm going to sand down the rust as best as I possibly can to begin to try and start the removal process. Let's get right into that now. I can do a little more on this spot, but how about this side? And then I'm not done with this spot, but I got this. There's just a little bit of dust on it, and then I still got to do this side. But yeah. What's going on, guys? It is day 2 of removing all the rust from the bottom of the trunk bed, and I just want to start this off by saying it's a long, tedious process, especially down here. But today I'm going to give you a quick few explanations and pointers on what to do. Just little things like wearing a mask to protect yourself from the rust particles, knowing how to use the proper equipment. And once I get all the rust out of the bottom of this thing, then we're gonna paint over it with the rust protectant and the primer. So that's the plan for today. So after a few hours and 2 days worth of drumming the bottom of this car and getting all the rust off of it, I've finished clearing all the rust off the inside of this and underneath the car. That's one thing you have to be aware of when removing and trying to prevent rust in the future, is checking underneath the car, or depending on where you're doing it, you have to check both sides of the surface to prevent it from oxidizing another time, and then all your work being ruined. I'm not very well versed in the world of removing rust, so this is my best attempt at my first time trying. But as you can see here, I dremelled it for about a few hours, and then I went in there, I sprayed with this rust reformer on top, and this is all on the floor, is all the rust reformer. And then I'll wait about a few more hours for it to dry, and then I will spray my primer on top of this. If there's any other way you guys think that I should be doing this, please let me know, because I'm not an expert. So this is the container that goes underneath the trunk in the spot that I just de-rusted, and it's the windshield washer fluid compartment. It holds all the windshield washer fluid and pumps it up into the pump to be used on the window. And what we're going to do now is we're going to clean it off and just make it look nice and new. Alright, so in the middle of this process, I decided to take the plastic interior walling off and check out what's inside and see if there's any more work that I should be doing inside of that before I move on to the next thing. So after removing all the plastic walls that are right here, it's a completely open compartment with obviously lots of rust, cables, cords, wires. Over here, about the same deal, a lot more cleaning to be done. Stuff, but here it is. Here's how it looks all around the edges, around the edges especially. This stuff was grimy. It's still not super clean. This is rust right here. It's still not super clean, but especially like behind this cord, all up along the wall over here, back here, along all this stuff. Like, obviously all that's left there is rust, and that's like a globber of paint. I don't know what that is, but all the dirt and grime is cleaned out of here, which is a really good step in the right direction. And I think the next step would be to Dremel everything out. Let's get to it. So I taped off all the parts that I'll be painting around, and now I'm ready to begin the process of applying rust reformer. All the rust reformer has now been applied to the car, and pretty soon after I let it dry, I'm going to spray my primer on, and after that I'll go in there with some paint.